What's up guys, welcome back to yet another video. Today we're going to be doing Q&A and it's on all of your guys' previous questions that was asked in all of my videos. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video. The first one comes from DWQ47. I watched a video of a guy tore apart just to find out that it's basically a resistor which leans out your fuel, which leans to better MPG but not safe for your engine. He wants to know, how did my car turn out? Did it run hotter? No, it actually did not run hotter. It didn't run hotter, colder, anything like that. The engine ran perfectly fine. The only thing that I've noticed is I got like maybe 3 miles more to the gallon. I'm going to be making a separate video regarding the NVIDIA performance chip for a lot of you guys out there. Just stay tuned and make sure that you are subscribed and you have that bell notification turned on, because that video is definitely going to go into a lot of explanations on why you should get a real tuner and why you should avoid chips like these. The next one comes from, I hope I don't butcher your name, but let me know if I do, but it's Jezray. And he did a comment on my last video, which I did was for the charcoal canister. And a lot of people get these very confused on the charcoal canister and the purge solenoid. So when you get the code on your car and you replace your purge solenoid and you've replaced every emissions thing possible but the charcoal canister, make sure you guys go ahead and test your charcoal canister before you start putting a whole bunch of money into the car. I do have a video on how to test your purge solenoid, which I'll be linking that in the description where you can find it for yourself. It's a YouTube short rather than a video, but it still goes in depth on how to check your purge solenoid and also how to check your charcoal canister, which is the main big one that I've noticed that goes bad when you overfill your tank over and over and over again. A lot of times people just sit there and keep clicking at the fuel pump when the car stops for a reason. There's vapors that rise up to the top and your gas tank can only be so full. It needs to have a lot more rooms for those vapors to escape. If you don't let that happen, it floods out the whole system, and then you run into an issue with having to chase a problem because your emissions keeps popping a check engine light, and most of the time it's your charcoal canister. So make sure you go ahead and check all these out. Thank you for that comment, by the way, and I'm glad it helped you out. Let me know if you need any more further information on the charcoal canister. This next one comes from Fast M3 Driver. I did a video on compression and how to check your guys' compression. Now every car that you test for compression has different threads, so you need to make sure that you have the right adapter for that thread. The best way to find out is pull a spark plug out. You get a compression tester from any O'Reilly's, Napa. There is no more advanced, so I'm gonna leave that one out. You go to any auto parts store. Harbor Freight also sells a whole kit full of them, which is the best thing that I can suggest because it has all of your attachments that you would need for any vehicle possible out there. You want to make sure that you pull the spark plug out, match the threading, make sure it's not coarse or whatnot. You want to make sure it's the same width too as your spark plug, and those are very easy to find out if it will actually fit into your car. Then you go ahead and continue with your compression tester. But as far as the best compression tester, Harbor Freight for sure if you don't want to spend a lot of money, or I would tell you Snap-on or Macro or make the best ones out there. But if you really want to spend that money, like I said, Napa or Harbor Freight, and avoid spending that much money with Snap-on. Astrofit. Now I told you that I'm going to definitely make some more information for you regarding how to change out your lifters and your rockers in a 5L Coyote. There is plenty of videos that are not very clear on this, and I really want to make one in the future for everybody, but they do sell a tool that helps you out with this, and I'll be putting it right here. And as you can tell, they are pretty pricey. You do need the 2 pieces because in the 3rd gen they're a little bit different with their lifters and their rockers. This way you don't need to take off the timing, you don't need to take off the cam. You use this tool and you replace them. It helps push down on that valve spring and it helps it stay there so you don't lose your retainers. Now, the retainers is a big part in these 3rd gen Coyotes, so you really want to be really careful with how you do this. There's people out there that have used the screwdriver method and popped the rocker out, and with that method it's kind of risky, like I said, with the 3rd gen, but you would want to unloosen your cam caps and to a point where you can lift up the cam just slightly assembly and then pop your screwdriver and pop it right out. Some people don't even do that. They just make sure that the cam lobe is facing up and not on a downstroke, so it's pushing down on that cam or on that valve. That's what you want to avoid, and then go ahead and pop it out. That way you don't have to unloosen your cam caps. Now, as far as any other way to do it, those are the only two ways that you can actually do it. Or you can unloosen all your cam caps and then go in there and pop it off with your finger or your screwdriver or whatever you prefer. It does work the same. Sometimes you can just push up on the cam just a little bit to just take off that hydraulic lifter and the rocker, but be really careful of where they're located. If they're too far up the front, use the tool. If they are more towards the back, you can probably do the cam caps and loosen them up and then go ahead and take off the hydraulic lifter with the rocker. But that's pretty much how you would actually be able to do that. Just be safe, do a little bit more research. If what I'm not saying is helping you very much, then let me know down in the comment section below. I will try to help as much as I can to kind of figure out how you can do it as a person, and then we'll go from there. Mr. Peppy commented on one of my videos regarding the Ford Mustang GT VCT solenoid that I replaced. Now, I kind of jumped the gun. It's not 41 pounds, 20 foot-pounds of torque for those two bolts, 60-degree turn. In a turn, it's kind of like 22 foot-pounds. Yes, it's definitely not 41. It's 20 foot-pounds of torque for those two bolts. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name too, but Sebastian, is it the same for a 4.6 3-valve, and you also received the P0022 and a P0018? And yes, the 4.6s do have both solenoids in the same spot. So you have your first VCT, which is in the front of the cam, and then you have your VVT, which is in the back of that VCT. But if you are popping these codes, it is definitely telling you that your timing solenoid is bad or your timing has jumped. So make sure that you look at that first. I know it's a pickle to take off your timing cover and your valve covers. You're already going to have it open already. So you should be able to see your timing chain, and you should be able to see where the timing mark is on the actual phaser. Line that up and see if you're in time still. If you are, then definitely replace the VCT and the VVT solenoid. Cameron, so I hit a curb and got some camber. The bumper makes a slight noise, but the tire has hella camber now where your wheels are upright. Professional service place told me that it's a bent strut. Now, when you hit a curb, depending on how fast you're going, there can be a lot of things. And I know you were saying that you took it to a professional place, but sometimes these professional places lie a little bit. So you're gonna definitely want to make sure your wheel isn't bent. Definitely replace the strut, because you can bend a strut from hitting a curb. But you're also gonna wanna check your tire rod and your control arms. Like I said, it depends on how hard you actually hit that curb. You're gonna wanna check all of those things and make sure that none of your ball joints are broke or your tire rod is fine, and then go ahead and check your strut. But definitely take your tire in and make sure that it is not bent. That will make noises, and it will definitely feel a little bit of loopy too on top of it all. So do that first and then come back. So that pretty much wraps it up for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a question you want asked, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below, and I will answer it next Friday. But ladies and gentlemen, you were just tuning in to ToughBuilds Customs. My name is Chris. Thank you for your subscription and that like. Also, make sure that you are subscribed and make sure you hit the bell so you get notified when I do post amazing content just like this. And if you guys want to see more, let me know. Once again, down in the comment section below. Share it with all your friends and family. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have a safe weekend. We'll see you on Monday.